back in the living room to talk about what is up and coming. And that is the fact that the Formula One season is about to start. In fact, it's starting this very weekend. We're kicking off. Now, for a while now, there's been this big thing about Formula One trying to fix itself and trying to do things a bit different. But the thing is, I think some of what it's needed, it's already got. But I have a theory that in 2020, it may have pretty much almost fixed itself without even realising it. So bear with me. So, I mean, the fact that we've got all these new young drivers now, I think has really helped the sport. And they've brought character, personality, skill, and I think that's great. You've got, obviously, Verstappen, who's, probably not that much of a newbie anymore, but you've got Lance Stroll, you've got Pierre Gasly, Alex Albon, although obviously he's test driver this season, Lando Norris, big fan, George Russell, again, big fan, Antonio Giovinazzi, Charles Leclerc, and I think they've just brought in something that's been missing. And that's great, and the last sort of 1-2 seasons have been really good. But here's the thing, because people have been banging on about the cars can't follow, and there's overtaking and all this kind of stuff. And I think what 2020 proved was that it's not necessarily the fact that the cars, it's the tracks. 2020 saw the season go from its usual planned out dullness to spectacular, because we went to proper old school race circuits. Okay, yes, the fast circuits like Silverstone, the Red Bull Ring was still there, but then we also went to the Nürburgring and so many other circuits we haven't been to in ages. And I think it just shows that a lot of these new and modern circuits have been designed in such a way that they're just boring. It's not the cars, it's not the drivers, it's not the racing, it's the circuits. They're just shit. You only have to look at some of the new circuits that are on the calendar, and they're just boring. The circuit itself is boring. And I think that's what 2020 showed us, is that you go to these old school tracks and the racing is brilliant. I mean, obviously this is just my opinion. I could be wrong. You may think I'm wrong. I'm not. But this is my point. 2020 saw a really topsy-turvy, back to front, God knows what's going on season. And couple that with all the young blood that's coming as well, and especially that even some of the older guys hadn't raced on some of these circuits because we haven't been to them for so long, and it just gave us a really interesting season. Yes, okay, Mercedes still had dominance, they still won the championship, but that's every other team's problem. At the end of the day, they are the pinnacle. They are the one you have to beat. And that is the same for any sport. You look back at when Manchester United was dominating football, they were the team to beat. Now it's Manchester City. They're the team to beat. And it doesn't matter what sport it is, there is always going to be somebody, there's the guy or the person or the team or whatever to beat. So, you just have to ignore that. And the thing is, the midfield races are just as interesting, if not more interesting sometimes, than some of the front-running battles. But I'm getting off track now. The point is that we need to drop some of these new circuits. The reason we have these new circuits is because countries and places pay large sums of money to Formula One for them to go there. It's about money. as sadly most things are. I mean, it's one of the things that ruins football half the time and many other sports. But that's what it's about. It's about money. Now, obviously, money's got to be made to keep it going and everything else. I get that. I'm not an idiot. But at the same time, they need to start looking at the circuits that they're going to and just drop some of these ones that just give you boring races. I mean, I would say the one exemption is Monaco, because it's just an iconic track. Monaco is kind of like Silverstone and a couple of the others where it's just a track you couldn't take from the calendar. But many of the others, especially like I forgot the name of it now, the French one. I mean, that's just dire. Oh, what's it called? It's gone off my head. Oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man. I'm going to have to Google it. It's gone completely out of my head. But the thing is, the worst part about it is many of these places where there is one of these circuits that's just not very good, there's one that they're not using anymore that's brilliant. French F1 track. Can't believe it's gone out of my head. Paul Ricard, that's it. I mean, Paul Ricard, it's just shit. It's just shit. Let's face it, it is shit. It's a terrible circuit. Yeah, there are better circuits in France. So, it's just... The problem is the modern circuits. They need to be either... They've either got to start designing them better or start using some of the older ones again. I mean, you look, we had 2 races at the Red Bull Ring, we had 2 races at Silverstone, we went to Imola, we went to the Nürburgring, and it was a great season. Great season. So what, you want to fix Formula 1, you've already done it. You're just too, they just seem to be too stupid to realise it. But we'll see what this season's like. Moving on from that, obviously season 3, 2 Drive to Survive is out on Netflix. And I just finished watching that. I mean, I watch it because you do pick up some interesting bits, but I think it could be a better show. I think it needs to have a bit more depth to it. And they need to start with all the arty-farty shots of bloody slow motion birds and helicopters. It's like, I don't really give a shit about that. I'm watching it or to see insights and things about Formula 1, and I'm not getting that from a slow motion bloody pigeon going across the screen. Okay, admittedly it wasn't a pigeon, but that's beside the point. You get my drift. And it's like this last season, they completely ignored like George Russell, who is a really good driver, and they completely ignored Williams, which went through probably the most devastating season that it's ever had. We've lost the Williams family. Claire Williams, stepped down as team principal. I mean, if that's not something worth covering, I don't know what is. But instead, we just got, well, yeah, it's just like, come on, Netflix, sort yourself out. If you're gonna make the show, make a show out of it. Stop mamby-pambying and it just, I don't know. Again, it needs more depth. I mean, it needs, you shouldn't be leaving drivers out. You shouldn't be leaving teams out. I mean, it's. I don't know. For me, it just felt lacking. But anyway, like I say, the season is starting soon. I'm looking forward to seeing it. I'm looking forward to seeing the cars. I'm looking forward to seeing what the newly renamed new Racing Point now Aston Martin team is going to do. Looking forward to seeing how McLaren go. Lots of things. Looking forward to obviously seeing all of my favourite drivers on track again, seeing what they do. So, hopefully we'll have another good season, but I don't know, I think you know, I think we're going to be going back to some circuits that are just going to leave us thinking, well, there's 2 hours I'm not going to get back. But money talks. Anyway, what do you think? That's just my opinion. Are you an F1 fan? Do you watch it? Do you think that my analysis is correct and that a lot of it is more to do with some of the circuits that we're going to than anything else? And who knows? Drop a comment down below. We'll be back very soon with some more stuff. Catch you later.
Jet plane headed up to the sky, spread wings and the clouds getting